All right, guys, good evening to all of you here on this Friday night. Thank you so much for joining me here at the Atlanta News First Alert desk. I am Savannah Louie. We've got your top stories for this Friday evening. It is September 8th. Hope you guys are ready for a great weekend, and we are glad to have you joining us this evening. All right, we're just going to get straight into our first story here. And if you've been keeping up with the news cycle, one of the things that has been topping Fulton County and national headlines is the indictment of former President Donald Trump and 18 others. Well, just today we have received new information, a major list of big names involved in the final Fulton County Trump grand jury report. From here, I'm going to let our political reporter Doug Reardon explain what this means for those involved and who have been named.
Among the 39 people of Fulton County's special grand jury recommended charges for are some familiar and powerful names. Former Georgia Senators Kelly Loeffler and David Perdue, and sitting South Carolina Senator Lindsey Graham, who commented just minutes after the full report went public.
This is troubling for the country. We can't criminalize senators doing their job when they have a constitutional requirement to fulfill.
Also among the names recommended for charges, current Georgia Lieutenant Governor Burr Jones, who ended up being barred from prosecution over a conflict of interest with District Attorney Fani Willis. It's all new information after a heavily redacted version of the report came out in February.
We definitely deserve as citizens to see how our prosecutions work.
Attorney Josh Schiffer notes the 26 grand jury members were regular Fulton County citizens.
None of them are lawyers. None of them are prosecutors. None of them are election experts.
But they had subpoena power and interviewed 75 witnesses in the 7 months they were impaneled. As for why Willis didn't bring charges against all 39,
that would have made an already complicated and giant case virtually impossible for the court system to facilitate.
Throughout the report, there was one special grand juror who consistently voted no on almost every single recommended charge. Schiffer says it shows the fragility of this case once it finally does go to trial.
If I've got one not guilty in a jury, that's going to prevent a conviction.
All right, again, that was political reporter Doug Reardon right there. He's been following along with this case very closely. If you have not been brought up to speed completely on the Trump indictment, we have a whole page on AtlantaNewsFirst.com. It has everything you need to know about this indictment, about everything leading up to the indictment, including years worth of stories involving the former president and Fani Willis and some of the other major players and what they're being accused of. Very comprehensive here. If you're looking for something to do tonight and you want to catch up, just go to AtlantaNewsFirst.com. We have a little tab at the very top where I believe it's called President Donald Trump or Trump Investigation, something along those lines. And if you find that, it'll show you plenty of articles where you can be brought up to speed by our amazing digital team and our amazing, fantastic crew of reporters. All right, guys, I want to jump straight ahead here to another story making headlines tonight. This is a pretty devastating story that we are following up on as the family of a man who was killed during a routine traffic stop, and he passed away. The family now reacting to body camera footage of that death. We're going to go ahead and show you the family and the attorney for the family right here. Tough story to tell tonight, and they are the family of 62-year-old Johnny Holman. Holman was killed last month, August 10th, during an incident with an Atlanta police officer. His family says he was involved in that traffic accident near Cunningham Place and Joseph E. Lowry Boulevard just before 11:30 at night. And when the officer tried to issue Holman a traffic citation, Holman resisted. And the officer then tried to arrest Holman, shooting him with a taser and putting him into handcuffs before noticing that Holman became unresponsive. Well, this death sparked protests all across Atlanta, including a march to City Hall the last month, just a couple of weeks ago on August 24th here. Members of Holman's family and their attorneys were shown this body camera video of the incident today. A number of family members were seen absolutely broken up after this, exiting City Hall in tears, crying. You can see some of them clearly very emotional here. It's tough to see. Their attorney said that he did not agree with the at-fault traffic citation, by the way, that Holman was receiving, and he ended up requesting a police sergeant present to contest it. And when Holman refused to sign that citation, Davis says that the attorney says that the officer attempted to arrest Holman, and that was really the event that led to Holman's death. Tough story to tell tonight. We have that body camera video if you would like to view it for yourself. I just wanted to be conscious of people who are watching right now because it is a little bit difficult to watch, but you can find that on atlantanewsfirst.com. All right, guys, I want to get to a final story for tonight, and this is one that I'm really excited about personally. I don't know about you, but I love being outdoors, and this is going to be perfect for anyone who likes a little outdoor adventures here in the Atlanta metro area. All right, we have got to show you this. This is a groundbreaking on a new way to explore the Chattahoochee River in just hopefully a number of months here. Crews breaking ground today on a new camp and paddle trail. This is along the Chattahoochee River, over at Chattahoochee Riverlands Park, by the way. That's about 40 miles southwest of Atlanta. This trail is going to offer a new kayak launch site and a new overnight camping area on Buzzard Roost Island. There will also be other amenities like bathrooms. Those are pretty important. And by the way, if you are looking forward to this site like I am, you see right here on your screen, it opens in 2024. I believe it's spring of 2024. So if you are someone who likes the outdoors like myself, we're going to get a whole group together and we're going to go meet out there for the grand opening, right? It's always a fun time to spend together with a bunch of strangers. All right, guys, as always, it is a pleasure to see you this evening. I hope you have a fantastic weekend. Stay safe out there. And I also should warn you, stay dry out there. Well, for part of the weekend, that's really only a minor concern. I want to show you now a picture of the Metro Atlanta skyline while we bring in meteorologist Patrick Pete to talk about the weather. And Patrick, I understand you have a bit of a first alert for us on Saturday.
Yeah, unfortunately, the skies will not stay as gorgeous as they are. Man, have y'all been outside? Have y'all been outside today? It feels amazing out there. Dew points are in the mid to upper 50s, depending on where you are. It just feels like fall. I dare to say it. It feels amazing today. Beautiful weather. As we head into the weekend, things are going to start to change a little bit. There is a first alert in the forecast for your Saturday. We're talking about the chance for some strong to severe thunderstorms in the afternoon. This isn't going to be very organized, but these storms are going to start to bubble up roughly around 1 to 2 o'clock, and we'll be dealing with that through about sunset. And then as we turn the page to Sunday, we're still going to be dealing with some lingering moisture. Looks like the shower opportunity isn't as widespread, so we lowered the rain chance for Sunday, but nonetheless, stray rumbles will be possible. We trend a little bit drier heading into Monday, but we're watching the tropics because I know a lot of you are very interested in this storm right now. Hurricane Lee was a Category 5 hurricane as of 11 o'clock last night, became a Cat 4 as it weakened. Actually underwent a little bit of wind shear. We'll get into that, but we're keeping an eye on that and Margot, both systems in the Atlantic Basin. So let's talk about the local forecast first, because that's the one that's going to impact you the most and the quickest. And that level 1 out of 5 risk for strong storms exists for a large chunk of our area, especially for folks east of the city, but extending almost to the border. Damaging wind, heavy downpours, frequent lightning, and hail going to be possible. And we're really worried about the potential for some of these thunderstorms to train, which means that they will move over the same areas very slowly, dumping lots of rain. So we're going to be watching for the National Weather Service to potentially issue some sort of flood watch, especially for that eastern corridor of the state, including parts of White and Lumpkin counties, Habersham County, stretching all the way through Greene, Clark, and Coney. That area is under a 15% chance of getting a flood watch issued tomorrow. So we'll keep an eye on that. Here's how the day unfolds. Lots of sunshine in the morning, and if you planned on hitting the links, great weather. 68 degrees here in Atlanta at 8 o'clock in the morning. The numbers are quite nice even as we approach lunchtime. Unfortunately, those pop-up showers and thunderstorms really start to take hold. 1 to 2 o'clock, we'll be tracking some of that. And then that moisture really hanging on as we head into the evening hours. So 7, 8 o'clock, some of those storms will still be lingering, gradually diminishing as we head through the overnight hours, and we'll deal with pretty dry conditions to start off your Sunday morning. Nice ride to church. As we get closer to around 1 to 2 o'clock Sunday afternoon, you can see things are bubbling up yet again. You're not seeing as many storms fire up, but still, where those downpours come down, they will be a bit aggressive. Things start to clear out pretty early. By 10, 11 o'clock, we're looking at mostly clear skies, light breeze, and comfortable numbers heading into the start of your Monday. Monday forecast, not bad, upper 80s, lots of sun, so trending a little bit warmer. And then we're into the low 90s on Tuesday. A couple of clouds around, a spotty shower not out of the question, and temperatures gradually start to fall on the backside of that. Looking forward to next Thursday because that's setting up to be a pretty sweet day already. Good mix of sun and clouds with highs in the low 80s. That means that folks in the mountains, you may top out only in the upper 70s, which is a pretty solid Thursday forecast, mid 80s as we round out the work week. But all eyes really on the tropics, and you can see from this satellite imagery, this system not as impressive, not as symmetrical as it was last night. You can kind of see how the outflow on the northern side of the storm is looking pretty healthy, but on the southern side, you're not getting that same symmetry. There's actually a little bit of wind shear that's been moving in on the southwestern side, and that's what's caused some of the weakening today. The other part of that story has actually been just that eye wall replacement cycle. We talked about it yesterday a little bit. This being one of the more tricky aspects of meteorology, there is not really a 100% sure fire way to forecast the eye wall replacement cycle, when it's going to happen, how long it persists. But what we do know is that once storms get to a certain intensity, that process normally happens if it's over the open waters long enough. And whenever that process happens, you will get fluctuations in the wind speed. So we saw the pressure come up a little bit today, which meant the winds went down. So here's the latest update. Right now, we're talking about Hurricane Lee as of the 5 o'clock update, which we will be getting another one in shortly. It has a wind sustained at 150 miles per hour. That makes it a very powerful Category 4 storm. Now, I know that a lot of folks, because, we're in the digital age of like, oh, it downgraded to Cat 4, whatever. This is a 150 miles per hour storm. It was 160 at a Cat 5, 156 essentially is where that starts to get into that Cat 5 status. And we're not talking about nothing but 6 mile per hour. So Cat 4, Cat 5, doesn't matter how you want to talk about it. It's a major hurricane. Thankfully, it is over the open waters, and that's where it's going to continue to be as we head through the next couple of days. Here's a look at the National Hurricane Center's best track, and you can see it does call for those fluctuations in intensity because of this eye wall replacement cycle. The eye is definitely undergoing that now. We don't know when that structure is going to become more visible, but what we can tell you is whenever that eye reforms, we do expect those winds to kick back up a little bit. Some models have been kicking it back up to 145. Some have been kicking it back up closer to 150. We'll have to just kind of see how this goes and look at the environment that it's moving in when that replacement cycle is done and we get a new eye. So nonetheless, still dealing with the major hurricane. As it lifts towards the north, it is going to cause swells up and down the eastern seaboard. So if you have plans to go to Miami, Jacksonville, Myrtle Beach, Carolina Beach, Virginia Beach, doesn't matter where you want to go. Like if you even Jersey, if you were going anywhere on the eastern seaboard, you're going to get some waves from this at some point over the course of the week. There's going to be a significant rip current risk as well. So all reasons to kind of factor that into your travel plans. You best. Meanwhile, Tropical Storm Margot definitely undergoing a little bit of wind shear. You could tell that just from the satellite imagery. Not looking as impressive. Winds are sustained at 40 miles per hour, so not much of a change. Actually, since it was upgraded to a tropical storm yesterday, moving to the west-northwest at about 17 miles per hour. We do expect it to move into a more favorable environment for intensification over the course of the next couple of days, pushing into the beginning of next week, and we do expect to have a Cat 1 hurricane out of Margot by the beginning of next week. But you can kind of see based off of that trajectory that this is going to be moving off towards the north. So we'll keep an eye just to see which end of the spectrum, which side of the cone the system follows, because if it's on that westernmost track and it shifts a little bit, that could put Bermuda at least somewhere within the realm of getting some impacts. But for now, this looks to be just a maritime issue. You can count on your first alert weather team to stay on top of this over the course of the evening and over the course of the weekend. We'll have continuous updates on our website and on our app, of course, too. So I want to send you back out to this beautiful shot. I wish I were a painter because this is so pretty. I wish I could kind of like replicate that and make a nice 18 by 24, but that's not my talent. I'm going to get us back to the 7-day forecast just so that you guys can kind of get a handle on what we're tracking for the next couple of days. And I'm going to slide into our YouTube chat. I know a lot of you guys are joining us at home via Roku and our actual app on your TV. But there are some viewers that are joining us on YouTube, and sometimes they have questions and comments, and I can kind of address any of those right now. Hey, Wesley says he has not been outside. Man, it feels amazing. As soon as I get off work, I'm going to go and hang out on my patio because the patio is the place to be. It feels amazing out there, bro, and I hope that you get you some fresh air tonight before we get those rain opportunities this weekend. No questions, so I'll leave you with the 7-day. Meteorologist Fred Campagna is going to have the latest information on Hurricane Lee coming up at 11 o'clock tonight on Atlanta News First. He's also going to have an update on Margot. And we're also going to get some new information on the timing of those pop-up showers and thunderstorms. The crazy thing is with pop-ups like that, we always like to get the newest, freshest information so that you guys can have an idea of how to plan your day. So you can check him out at 11 o'clock for that. And until then, I will say have a fantastic weekend.